Welcome everyone to the Canadian 4-on-4 Ultimate Championships, the C4UC. We've got an exciting game today between two senior teams, one from St. John's, Newfoundland, that is Bad Temperament, and one from Winnipeg, Manitoba, that is Cleat Jail. And I will not be alone to do this match, nope. I've got with me my wonderful co-commentator, Kimberly Morin-Coulombe. And myself, I'm Chantal Dussault. Very happy to see you here today, Kim.
Hi, Chantal.
Hi. So before we start this match, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which we are, because Ottawa is located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, BE Ultimate, Discraft, Chocolat Favori Orléans, and Ottawa Tourism. And here we go. So we're starting. And so in white, we've got the team from Manitoba, Cleat Jail, that's starting strong, looking to make that pass, but resets right into the middle to number one. Taking their time. Manitoba's got a very deep pool of players, and they know how to take their time and be very strategic, although that was a bit of a unexpected collision.
Yeah, and we have to be very careful. We're playing mixed ultimate here, and the women-male matchups have to be very careful, making space for each other on the team.
So as we do in ultimate, we discuss what happened, we come to an agreement. There are no referees, and it's all about the spirit of the game to work out how to continue this. There are rules, but the most important rule is spirit of the game. And it is decided that that is a point, so we've got Cleat Jail that is already on the board with their first point for Manitoba.
Yes, so we see these teams this is their third game of the day, so they have both played two teams already. Bad Temperament coming in with a win against Silly Goose and a loss against Young. And Cleat Jail coming in with two losses, but as we know, anything can happen here.
I'm so impressed with the strength of that cut from number 24 in the dark team. So we've got Bad Temperament looking to make progress and really put themselves on the board here. So again, we've got really fighting to get some open field. We got a hammer throw into the end zone, which is caught by number 73.
Nice job here, really getting their own space. The women are getting involved. We see number 24, Nick House, really getting involved in the lane here. They're doing a good job of isolating one person at a time, making sure that there's enough space for people to get open. And a hammer throw is something that we will see in 4-on-4. Over the top throws, clutch in a 4-on-4 game if you want to be successful throwing both open side and break side.
The Cleat Jail team had caught that, but then just a quick little drop. Sometimes we look up a little bit too fast and we end up dropping.
So true. You already know where you're going. You're trying to get that next pass off, and 4-on-4 is a game that moves so fast. You have to already know where you're aiming to throw or who's open on the field.
A lot of really intense cutting and a great grab by Perrin, number 27 on Bad Temperament. Recentered to Pini on a hammer throw, which is caught by Perrin in the end zone. So 2-1 for Bad Temperament from Newfoundland.
Good job, Bad Temperament. This is really showing up, and that's something that I heard from the team Yum when they played them this morning. They said they showed up to the fields, and Bad Temperament was on the field warming up. They came here to play. They flew in from Newfoundland, and they're not kidding around. I respect that.
I'm really impressed by the strength of their cuts. You know, they really are pushing off of their legs to make that cut super intense.
And that is something you'll see on 4-on-4. You have to cut with confidence. There's nothing that you do half an action. Oh, nice throw.
So that was a really strong D by number 8 on Newfoundland. So that was the Hull who made that D, which gives Bad Temperament possession. And so they're up against here the sideline and resetting in the center. Again, quick throws. They don't have many long options, but they've got great backfield options, but that was a misfire.
They're doing a good job trying to throw both open side and break side. Getting the disc to the break side will really try and open up your field for you. Because this is such a small space, we have to be cognizant on trying to use the whole width of the field.
You can see the number directing traffic, but not many options, and so that was a bit of an overthrow. And so Bad Temperament back with the disc on the side here.
We heard a lot about Matthew Paget that we see here.
Bad Temperament looking and pushing it in, and that is caught, but contested. So we've got number 8 Hull, who's saying he caught it, but there could have been potentially a pick or a call.
A bit of discussion going on here on the field. We're hoping to keep it on the field, making sure that the players that are involved in the call are the ones that are communicating with each other. That's something that we really favor in fifth spirit of the game. It's important to have the people only involved in the call having a cool, calm conversation.
And so number 17, Hong, pushing it in to their teammate. And so again, Bad Temperament making that point. And so it's 3-1 for Bad Temperament already.
They came to ball, and I respect that. They really are showing up. They're playing hard. They're throwing a lot of breakside throws, which is incredibly tough to defend right now. Cleat Jail is going to have to step up and make sure that they're a little bit closer to their player, because Bad Temperament is really using that breakside for them right now.
Cleat is going to have to make decisions also on O to really save that disc and to keep possession. And so let's see if they can make those kind of decisions. And sometimes it's tough because this is a national competition, and we've got teams from Quebec, Ontario, Newfoundland, Alberta, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and these teams are not necessarily used to playing against each other.
Yes, nice throw here from Herms, number 3. She threw breakside to her teammate. That was a good look for her. Really trying to punch it into tight spaces.
That's amazing. So the types of throws that we can do in interior ultimate are very different from outside ultimate.
100%. We really have to, you'll see a lot of scoobers, hammers, things over the top, high releases. You really have to get creative when you start playing 4-on-4, because honestly, anything can come out. Nice up the line here, creating space on the field.
We got Bad Temperament recentering the disc, looking for that next option. Comes from the back of the stack. On the sideline here. That intensity is palpable.
We have heard that Anthony Workman here, number 2 with the disc, who just threw it, he's someone that we will see get involved a lot on the field. And we see, ooh, nice catch.
He was quite involved, made that pass to his teammate, and then went right into the end zone for that catch. So Bad Temperament already 4-2 so early in the game.
And Bad Temperament are a team that come from Newfoundland. If you know anything about smaller communities that play Frisbee, you know that they are extremely tight. They're woven all together. These are people who are very involved. When we spoke to the coach and leadership, they made it a point that we should shout out the people that volunteer and that help out the community. These are very, very close teammates. They love and respect the game, and they love and respect the people that are coming from the junior system, Storm. So shout out to them.
I love that. So we've got Bad Temperament on the side looking to center it, which they do successfully. They've got a long option. They've got a side option, committing to swing the pass to the side. Number 55 calling the shots. House throwing it long, one-handed grab by number 18. Looking to dump it, which she does.
They're working a lot through the middle of the field right now. It's starting to feel a little bit crowded. So hopefully we try and develop and give people the opportunity to really set up in that space.
And look setting back again, exactly what happened there.
Looking for his next option.
Looking for the next options. And right side throw, which is caught by Dor Moody on, by number 1, Baird Cell on Cleat Jail, number 1.
Yes, and when I spoke to Cleat Jail about what their objective for this tournament was, in true Gen Z fashion, they told me their objective was to put them in Cleat Jail. And I asked her, what, please, more details? And she said, defensively. And so we respect the fact that these people come from PBHG, a mixed team out of Manitoba. A lot of mixed history here.
Beautiful long throw by Bad Temperament, number 13, I believe. Which is Beatty, and that created that point.
Workman once again getting involved in here. He's going to make sure this team is successful.
That Temperament's not wasting any time.
Absolutely not.
They get the disc and they just make those really hard cuts, and if they're not getting it in, they're going to get it long.
Very true.
We've got Cleat Jail with the disc.
Ooh.
Outside in throw, which is successful, and it's a jump that was intended to catch it in, but no, the defense is saying You were not in.
Beautiful throw by Nguyen.
Number 3 on Cleat Gel. Harms sending it to Daya. Back to Waldman. Up, small layup grab in the end zone.
Good job, Nguyen.
Jail.
She's really putting her body on the line. I'm used to playing Masters, and it's interesting to see that seniors game. They really get in there.
5 against 4, so 5 for Bad Temperament and 4 for Cleat Jail. They've got different styles of playing, I'm noticing.
Yes.
The Cleat Jail team seems to be very close to each other, but so does Bad Temperament. They've got different ways of showing that. Oh, a hand block. So we've got Beardsell who hand blocked.
There was a lot going on the field there. He was trying to figure out what his next option was, and sometimes you're just trying to do too much.
A swing to come back in the center, choosing not to throw that. Resets. Back into the center of the field. Tripped, but managed to catch it. Beardsell, amazing job to come back to 5-5, so brand new game.
They're going to give us a good game. We see here a lot of men matching players throwing to each other. I'd love to see the women get involved. We all know that in order to make a 4-on-4 team be as successful as possible, you have to utilize every single player on that field.
And we have Bad Temperament who came in 8th, was ranked 8th, but Cleat Jail was ranked 12th at this tournament out of 16 teams. And they're both neck to neck, so this could be anyone's game still. A bit of a call on this play, so coming back after the pick.
Andrew Workman once again on the field here. He's getting involved. He's going to make sure that this is...
And there he is. Got pushed a little bit. Talking to his player, saying, hey, you pushed me.
No hand. Let's go.
Just getting back in the game.
Nice throw here from Workman.
A good hand block attempt by number 2 on Cleat Jail.
Getting high in the stall. Good job.
Oh, perfect throw. What a surgically precise throw by number 2 Workman on Bad Temperament, and the score is 6-5 for Bad Temperament.
We're going to see a lot of good competition here. We have a lot of strong players on both sides. Cleat Jail here starting off with a side stack. We're going to see someone get isolated in the lane, and here women matching player. Ooh, nice split stack.
The advantage of the split stack is that it creates a different type of space.
We're very tight on that field, just like you said, Chantal. We have to make sure that we utilize every single inch of it.
Oh, that was an amazing grab by number 7 Foshi from Manitoba. And a beautiful lead pass to number 6 Daya, who's looking on how to punch that in. Will he punch it in? Will he send it back? Outside in flick that is caught by Daya. Thrown by Daya and caught by his teammate.
They're doing a good job of really getting activated in the lane. You'll see in 4-on-4, if they're able to catch the disc and move it quickly, it really puts your defense on their heels, and it's very tough to defend. And that's something that Cleat Jail, especially Daya, is doing really well right now. He really gets in the lane and gets involved quickly.
Both teams are playing so intensely, back to a tied game, 6-6 with a diagonal stack. We got Workman coming back, peeling out of the back, choosing to do that break side throw. The field is entirely open, but a lot of traffic. Bad Temperament choosing a hammer throw into the end zone, and it is caught by Workman. You were saying we would see a lot of him, and we are.
Yes, right now we are seeing him get isolated in the lane. They started with a vert stack. The women were capped, and so the defenders on each of the women were sharing them, which makes it a little bit tougher to get open in the lane. And Workman has really been working hard, pun involved, to make sure that he gets open, gets that disc in his hand.
His name does not disappoint.
Exactly.
We've got Cleat Jail just misfired or just a little bit too far. So we've got Bad Temperament back on looking to recenter or throw long. What's going to be possible? Recentering to number 11, Costigan. Long throw, just a little bit overthrown. The defense is so tight that the throwers don't have much room. They really need to throw surgically, and sometimes that can be a little bit.
I so agree. When we see a team like Cleat Jail, nice catch here. When we see a team like Cleat Jail, they are people that are playing in the mixed system from PBHG. They are incredibly athletic. And so you see this on defense. When people are tight on you, it's harder to get open in these spaces.
And it's harder to throw as well, because that's why we will overthrow, because we say, oh, I need just a little bit more distance because the defense is going to catch it if I throw it too close to my player. So we got Bad Temperament back on. Oh, and Rachura applying a big mark on that. Workman back with the disc.
We see a lot of vert stack here from Bad Temperament. They would really like to start with the vert stack in the middle. Oof, unfortunate drop here.
And it is caught quickly by Rachura. So
and
Cleat Jail.
Quick transition here. That's what will make you successful at 4-on-4. If for some reason a mistake is made on the field and you're able to capitalize quickly next to that end zone, that's where you need it.
To make a big difference. And it did for Cleat Jail, who's now in the lead. So Cleat Jail 8 to Bad Temperament 7.
Nick House here on the field. I spoke to him, and he was injured in the previous game, but he decided he's back in the game.
And Cleat Jail's just a little bit faster getting to that disc, and it is the first team to grab the disc who's going to have it, but then that pass was not completed, so back to back Bad Temperament. Back to Workman in the back, who's looking for a nice open cut, but no such thing exists, so break side, flick, looking to throw long, or back to Workman here on the side. There's an open throw. Oh, what a great one-handed grab of that outside-in backhand by Workman. And a back in a flick, outside-in flick for Bad Temperament.
Yeah, we see these ladies here getting involved, throwing nice throws, playing with each other. This makes you such a threat when you're able to use all 4 players on your field. We see Workman here. He has not disappointed since we started. He's someone who works extremely hard on the field, and when they get the women involved, it's nothing but success.
Cleat Jail trying to gain back that advantage that they had, but now the throw was not as intended, probably.
I find Cleat Jail is playing a bit quick trigger here. If they can take a deep breath and try and center themselves a little bit, they might be successful and keep this. It's a pretty tight game.
I agree. There's a few misfires that are probably uncharacteristic, because Manitoba does have such a large pool and such a great school system to train athletes that I am not surprised to see, such great athleticism. But this is really high pressure. Again, being in Manitoba, there's maybe a little bit less opportunities to play with teams at the national level.
Completely agree. They came here to play, and this is not a tournament that you can see very often, and so.
And it's only the first day of this 2-day tournament, so tomorrow is a whole new day. It's an unfortunate drop by Bad Temperament, so we've got Cleat Jail walking it up to their end zone line, and so now it's just a matter of making the right decision. Pops it up, and it is caught by number 2, Pagé from Cleat Jail.
I am such a fan of people setting up with one ISO in the end zone. I find it so effective. You just saw here Cleat Jail had 2 super dumps, which means that we had 2 people that were way far behind in the field that allowed Cleat Jail to really have the space to look for options in the end zone. The end zone is so small that you really have to get creative. And this jump and throw, very successful.
And it's very hard to defend, right? If the handler puts it up and the offense picks it up on the way into the end zone, that's really hard to defend.
What an interesting stack they had there.
And Bad Temperament scores with number 7 catching that.
We saw them start off with 3 cutters in the end zone and 1 just streaking to the end zone. That's a new one. I don't think I've ever seen that in 4-on-4. Bad Temperament bringing the new concepts for offense. Love it.
Yeah, that was number 13, actually, BD catching that in the end zone. So we've got Cleat Jail back on, centering the disc, moving it quickly, but not too quickly, Cleat Jail. It was a little bit too quick, had not noticed the beautiful defense by Bad Temperament.
It's important to utilize the whole width of the field, but sometimes 4-on-4 can get poachy.
Bad Temperament making that swing, looking to reset, middle of the field, one-handed catch, which is not successful. Rachura looking for the best option, resets it back. Grabs it up the line. Looking for an end zone. No, resets it. Swing. Looking for an end zone. No one there. Back. No hurry. So Cleat Jail taking your time. Just a little bit out of reach for Beard Shell.
Cleat Jail did a good job here of really spacing themselves out. They were able to use the full width of the field, which allows you to gain perspective. And if you set up and you go through the entire width of the field, you can then allow for someone to get open in the lane. It opens up the space in such a tight field.
I agree. And there seems to be a bit of a timeout here at this time. So, yes, it's a timeout for Cleat Jail. So it's a tied game. What do you think they're thinking of in terms of taking a timeout at this time?
My comment for Bad Temperament would be really take a second before you catch. I know it's important to catch and release very quickly, but we have seen a couple of these quick throws that we want to get off, and there's drops, uncharacteristics, I'm sure, for Newfoundland. And my comment here for Cleat Jail would be to take a breath. I think there have been some throws that have been a little bit quick, and so if they can just take an extra second, make sure that they're executing a good decision, they might come off with it.
And I think both teams want to take the half. So the half will happen after 24 minutes of play, and we're nearing that, and the halftime will last 2 minutes. But it is a mental advantage to come in and win the first half. So maybe that's what this was all about also, making sure we can take the half.
Exactly. 3 more minutes of game here before halftime. It's a hard cap at halftime, so once the whistle goes off, all play stops.
And Bad Temperament centering the disc. Holding back that throw, which was not a good option, so really making wise decisions on the field. Beautiful high release backhand over the defense to swing it on the break side, and then back. Oh, number 8 is playing so great. Hull on Bad Temperament. High release, flick into the end zone, back corner. Number 27 caught it. Is it in?
I definitely felt like that was in from our perspective.
From our best perspective.
From our perspective, that's absolutely not debatable.
So in Ultimate Frisbee, players get to make their own calls, and no one has the best perspective unless the players say that they have the best perspectives. So it's definitely not us. We are joking that we have the best perspective.
We see here, and it's a goal.
It's a goal. So Perrin, number 27 for Bad Temperament, making that amazing catch with the presence of mind to keep the toes in as she was reading the disc that was coming in outside in. What amazing athleticism.
A male player poached off, so it takes a lot of real concentration to make sure you catch that. We see here Cleat Jail was forcing backhand, which is, I'd be curious to see what their mindset in this one, because backhand comes out a lot faster than the flick throw, and so you tend to see a lot more flick forces in indoor Frisbee.
So it sounds like the play had been started before the disc had been checked in, so the players have to get back into their position, and now they're back in position and the play is started. So a nice reset, throw, beautiful grab, but that was dropped. But beautiful catch still by Daya, who is still down, unfortunately, so hopefully nothing serious, maybe just winded.
Daya has shown us some incredible athleticism. He's really been getting involved here, putting his body on the line. We hope he's doing okay. Seems to be running off the field.
Yeah, sometimes we can get a bit winded with those layouts.
100%.
So Bad Temperament with the disc. But there's the defense by number 5, I believe it was, on Cleat Jail. Waldman puts it up long, and it's caught in the air and lands in. Not much you can do about that. So a point for Cleat Jail.
That throw came off before he had even began his cut. This is the kind of thing that you see with experienced players that play together. If these players have mentioned that they play PBHG together, it is not surprising that things like this, they know where they want to go. They know the throw that wants to come out.
Yes, and Paget's tall enough to grab that, and there's Paget again doing that D against Workman. Putting the body.
Paget, I heard in, this is halftime. Paget, I heard in 2019, tried out for U24s and impressed everyone with his vert skills, and so it's not surprising that they would try and put it to Paget close to the end zone, especially in the air.
Yes, and that he just did this D, which makes it that at halftime we're coming in with 10 versus 10. So it's a tied game again. Cleat Jail versus Bad Temperament. So we've seen a lot of different plays. We've seen a lot of different skills. Anything that you think that these teams can leverage to, take a little bit of advantage here in the points?
Bad Temperament has been showing us a lot of great initiating plays. They've showed us varied plays. And so I love seeing that. If you're going to keep the defense on their heels, show them different looks. They never really know what to expect. If you put 3 cutters in an end zone, I'm not sure how to defend that.
Mm-hmm. And we've, like you were saying before, they've seen the different pressures, the different forces. I think they've been doing a mix of forehand and backhand, and maybe a little bit of center or front. It's not 100% sure. They don't seem to be playing always with the same strategies, which mixes it up for the defense and for the offense.
100%. And then we have Cleat Jail here that, when we spoke to them, mentioned they have no 4-on-4 experience.
What?
Can you believe that?
No!
They play 5s in Manitoba, but this is not something, they don't have a 4-on-4 league. They don't play. This is not something that happens for them. And keep in mind, 5-on-5 field can be slightly bigger than a 4-on-4 field.
Yes.
And so the particularities that go along with the 4-on-4 game, it's just the agility, the effective indoor throws, these things that go along with a smaller field. It's really impressive that they're able to show up here and bring such a good game if they don't play 4-on-4.
That's true. And it makes sense now you say that, because when they were doing that swinging of the disc, back to the dump and then back to the side and then back to the dump and then back to the other side, that's a very typical 5-against-5 strategy.
Yes.
You'll see that a lot more in a 5-against-5 field. I've seen that a lot less in 4-against-4 games, although they're doing it quite well. But of course they are, because this is their comfort zone. So it makes perfect sense, yeah. They do have great handlers, so no reason to not continue and pass that disc. So we're coming into the second half here. And the team that's coming in with the disc can put it anywhere they want in the end zone, and there is no pull to start the second half. So they're choosing to take it there. So Bad Temperament, number 9, Penny, coming with the disc. Up to Workman here. Looking for options. Great cut by Penny. That was such a successful cut.
Tongue out and all.
I knew that was successful.
Knew.
So we got Dodd with the disc with a small put up. And
Page doing a good job of really defending Workman strategically. You can see he's always keeping an eye out for the disc. That's the sign of a strong defender.
And yet Workman gets it in a reset position up to teammate number 13.
You can see here when she landed, she knew where her feet were at all times. That's something that you'll see in Ultimate. We call them twinkle toes.
Twinkle toes.
You have to be sure that you're in the end zone. And keep in mind, the line is out. And so you want to make sure that there's no doubt about where your feet land.
So what sort of formation is this? It seems like a bit of a diagonal stack, but unsure.
Diagonal vert stack, yep.
And so we've got Cleat Jail with the disc on the far end. Number 1, Beard Shell, swinging it wide to Nguyen. Up again, Beard Shell calling a foul, saying that he could have gotten that catch had Hong not been touching him. So
we love to see, we love to see these conversations. We see that they're both remaining calm. That's something that's a big component of Ultimate Frisbee, especially in Spirit of the Game. We love when these discussions are kept with a cool head. They're able to really explain where they're coming from.
And even if we can't understand what they're saying, we can't hear them, we know everything because of the charades.
And 100%. We read body language. We know.
Yes.
We also lip read temporarily.
So it did go back to thrower, and it is caught in the end zone by Cleat Jail, number 3, Herms. Great comeback there by Cleat Jail to come after that catch. 11 against 11.
We call that the golden zone. As a defender, you have to make sure up the line, open side, that has to be your number 1 priority. It's tough for 4-on-4. You're trying to stay close for the break side, but honestly, open side's the big one. And we see this this stack again in the end zone.
Really tight game for Bad Temperament, who was ranked 8th against Cleat Jail, who's ranked 12th. So it's a very tight game. Score is tied. Number 6 from Bad Temperament. Throwing it back.
Workman with every other pass here.
So that's Dodd, number 6, juggling the disc, but maintaining possession. Throwing it back for a beautiful reset and a give go. Very successful because number 11, Costigan, can be very useful there.
I love that little pass through the middle. I find it opens up the field so much.
And it is caught in the end zone by number 6, Dodd. Great patience by Bad Temperament.
And we're going to see Workman getting involved, getting in there. We've repeated that name multiple times on the stream so far, but he really is working hard to make sure that the team is successful here. Another shout out for Bad Temperament. They have Dodd here, number 6, who is the first player out of Newfoundland to make Team Canada.
Oh,
what an achievement.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cute?
I love that.
And it's tough to make TC and be the only one from your region, not knowing what to expect when you go into training camps. She's super brave, and we wish her nothing but luck this summer.
Yes, and it's such a great opportunity, for all people to join a Canadian team. So, and just even going to the tryouts is such an amazing
100%.
experience. So,
and that, I believe, is a testament of the junior system that they talk about, Storm. There's so much junior involvement that they want to make sure that everybody is really
involved.
included.
So we've got 27 Perrin who just made that catch, and so now for a very long time we have not had a 2-point gap, but we do for the first time. So Bad Temperament is leading by 2, 13-11.
We see here an ISO in the open lane. Nice break throw. Oh, open side throw.
That was a very quick point.
And that is as efficient as you can be.
Beardshell catching that, but everyone had a piece of that point. I don't know if that was a set play or if they were just instinctively knew where to go.
I think it was a split stack. She cut to the open side. I thought she was cutting to the break side. But a nice ISO in the middle of the field, open side, and just pop right in 2 throws later. So good job from Cleat Jail.
Yeah, Cleat Jail closing that gap a little bit, but still need to make up the 1 point with the timer going on. Workman catching that, saying, was he in? He doesn't know he was looking up.
That was a trust throw. There's a lot of people close to the end zone.
So he's saying, hey, listen, I'm just going to take it on the line here. And we'll pop it in. A beautifully executed throw that did not have much rotation on the disc, but made it to the catcher. Number 6, Dodd, who caught that. Not her first catch of the match. And so 14-12.
Dodd, we just finished talking about her. She is our prospect for U20s. And so showing that she can get open in the lane. They had 1 person in the end zone. You know how much I love that play. And she did a great job getting isolated, getting open.
It's one thing to get open, but it's another for the thrower to be able to make that throw, which Workman was able to do. So great teamwork.
We've been gushing about Workman on this stream, and there's not many throws I know he's not able to throw.
All right, we've got Cleat Jail, number 8, Medwick with the disc on this sideline. Disc is coming back in, looking to make that throw to the end zone, but no, he's going to reset it. Such a senior and wise move, putting it to the center to Paget.
Medwick here playing with some pretty neat space buns. Bringing the style on the field. I respect that.
It's all about the swag. Love that layout. That was such an amazing reach.
Was it talent or was it the space buns?
I think it's the swag. Yes, puts it up. Number 7, Fauché grabs it, but not quite in. Paget jumps on it, and that is a point for Cleat Jail. Very important point.
I like that. They showed up with a bit of swag on this point. They just threw things. They felt aggressive. They are here to play. I don't think that 2-point lead or that turned into a 1-point lead. Don't count them out.
Just loved that layout grab by Medwick. I mean, I think that was probably my favorite move of the entire game so far. I could be surprised by more. Let's wait and see. So Workman throws it up. What a precise, beautiful throw. The offense, the defense is saying that wasn't in when that jumped in. And
I don't
here
know.
we
That
go.
looked in from here.
Yeah, Beatty caught it, so it's a done deal. And Bad Temperament made that catch. So again, Workman just putting up that long outside in throw right precisely at the right location.
And you really have to have thrown those a few times to understand how far to throw it on a field and the speed with which your player is running. It takes a lot of skill to be able to throw a long throw in a 4-on-4 field. There's not a lot of space for error.
Here There we go. This was a bit of a floatier throw, which didn't make it to the receiver in time. So 2 defense players were there, and that was a turnover. So Bad Temperament back on offense. Oh, there's a call. There's a call. We're seeing the sign for a foul.
I think here we saw the offensive player pushing off of his defender, which is what the body language that I'm reading.
Yes, we're pros at body language reading here. So again, no contact is allowed, and so when a player makes contact, there's going to be a call, and then it has to be resolved. So throwers have 10 seconds to throw, and they can't run, of course, with the disc. And those are some of the basic rules of Ultimate. We've got number 1 now from Bad Temperament. Dormoody throws it up, and it is caught. A 2-handed grab right in the end zone.
Daya putting his body on the line once again, just really trying to get there on defense.
But Hull was there, and Hull caught that disc. So the score is now 16-13 for Bad Temperament, which is the first time there's a 3-point difference.
That makes a difference. That makes a difference. So we're getting close.
We're getting close.
12:25. 15 minutes left.
15 minutes left. Bad Temperament leading by 3, which makes a bit of sense. They were seeded 8th instead of 12th. But Cleat Jail has not said the last that they have to say, because they just made a very quick point. So
I love that look. That was as effective as you can be.
16-14.
And we know number 2, Page, I was told he was somewhat of a legend. So respect to him. That was a great cut. Got open in some space.
I'm really enjoying the communication on the field as well. You know, Page pointing to his team saying, I'm going to be forcing home. Although he got broken on that, but still good communication.
Page and Workman, great matchup here.
And there it is, the Page Workman, but the disc was outside the field.
A bit too far here.
Was impossible to catch. So we've got Cleat Jail coming back on with the swag.
Space Run swag.
Love that from Midwick. Oh, there was quite a bit of traffic in front of that throw, so unfortunately Turner wasn't able to do that outside in.
I thought Page possibly had a hand on that. Could have saved the day.
Could have. Workman with the disc again, quarterbacking this play. Not liking anything he was seeing, so Dodd catches it. Beatty puts it up for Workman. It is caught in the end zone. Bad Temperament taking a little bit more lead, 17-14.
If we are told that Dodd is a U20 player, she does not move like a U20 player. She is showing some confidence on the field. She really gets involved. I love that.
Yes, because U20 means that she would be under 20, which is almost like a more junior division. But here it's the senior level division, and we're not seeing any difference in level.
Absolutely not. She really is holding her own on this team, playing with older players, but showing that she has the experience and the confidence.
Great put right in front of that Cleat Jail player. Number 3, Herms, runs up to it, very fast legs, and Cleat Jail is back. So just a 2-point difference, so nothing to celebrate yet for Bad Temperaments from Newfoundland. But we haven't seen Cleat Jail close that gap yet.
Exactly. We're going to have, this game is going to be a good determinant of what happens in their pool. One comes in with a win, a loss, the Cleat Jail with 2 losses, but this game could be a determinant.
So we've got Bad Temperament. BD with the disc. Puts it up to Dordmoody. Back to Workman. Dodd had made a good cut, but that was not. And there's a very intense contact between Dodd and Dormoody. So we'll give him a few seconds to take a breather.
Bad Temperament here they have the ability of really releasing the disc quickly. It helps them a lot on this 4-on-4 field.
Yes, so both players are chuckling and just breathing, so should be all good. We're going to be ready to start again. Workman has the disc. Workman against Page. We're loving this matchup because the Workman against. Sorry? Oh.
Number 1. They do look alike.
Oh, sorry. Beard cell. Oh, geez.
They've kind of had the fro going on, both of them. They're both quite tall. And
I'm glad you're there, Kim.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yes,
A great matchup and very athletic.
I respect Workman for not making a call on that one.
Yeah.
He respects the high intensity, the tight defense.
So we've got Beardsell throwing, unfortunately, to Bad Temperament. Workman back with the disc. There was a foul. I saw that number 9 from Bad Temperament, Penny, was actually tripped by the cleat of the defensive player. Although it was a great defensive play.
Daya, we have seen here, I've mentioned him more than once, he is very athletic and he is tight on defense. And sometimes when you throw up plays like that, it just makes your offensive player have to think about where they're cutting, how they're cutting, just to get that separation.
So Penny's going to grab the disc with 10 minutes left in this game. Looking for a safer throw, which he gets from Beatty. Beatty looking to throw back to Workman. Beatty looking for Dodd, not open. Up to Penny. Penny throws it, unfortunately, to the other team. Cleat Jail grabs it, avoids their own teammate.
Beardsell here was poaching in the lane.
Pick called. So Dodd is catching up to her player. And Daya was probably a little bit hit by that, so is taking a switch.
He plays hard, I respect that. And we're bringing in here our famous Paget.
Yes. All right. We got Fauché with the disc on the line. Hammer. A great matchup. But that's not complete.
That was really close. That is some vert. I will respect that. That is some vert.
That is vert. Got Beatty with the disc. Beautiful break throw to Dodd in the center.
That was a great throw.
To Peeny. Workman catches it, looks for what he's going to do, and puts it up. Beautiful to Beatty in the end zone. 18-15.
Grace Beatty here on this point. I give her this entire point. That IO opened up the entire field for her team. She scored the point. She was a critical component of that successful point that they got here.
In a 4-against-4 game, everyone on the field is important. I mean, no one can be there just,
100%.
sitting around.
And being able to throw breaks that way, either IOs or around, really gets your team to open up the field and set up for spacing.
Just a little bit overthrown, but still a good idea.
Medwick here trying to get a deep throw, making sure that Bad Temperament respects the deep space. You don't want them to just be fronting you.
And sometimes it's okay to throw it deep, even if you don't catch it on your team, just to get that to be respected. So then it makes the in cuts that much easier to make. And here we go, a quick catch by number 8, Hull on Bad Temperament. Bad Temperament celebrating that
Fired up.
They are fired up because for the first time there's a 4-point difference in this game. And
that was an impressive catch.
That was an impressive catch, and we're getting closer and closer to the end of the game,
and this is the moment that can determine where you situate yourself in terms of confidence. If you have a 4-point lead and you know that there's 5 minutes left, you can then just say, let's keep possession, let's not try anything that puts us in a bad spot.
And so what are they going to do? Are they going to play it safe? Puts it up, cross. Beautiful catch by Paget, and a good throw also. That was a backhand, slightly break throw.
Yes. Some people call it caribou throw. This is thrown by Turner. It really makes it difficult to defend because it's a throw that ends up going into the break space, and so if you're not very tight on your player, it's unfortunately a very successful 4-on-4 throw.
So Cleat Jail is closing the gap. So 16 for Cleat Jail, 19 for Bad Temperament. Bad Temperament with the disc here. In theory, they should score. When you have possession and you start, you should be making that point. No reason not to, right? Unless Cleat Jail has something to say about it.
Bad Temperament doing a good job of cutting one person at a time, really giving the space for their player.
Costigan puts it up in the center, but Dodd thought someone else was there. Didn't understand that was for her. So back on D. A little bit late on D, and so Paget says, hey, I got this.
It feels like she was trying to make a call or understand what had happened in order to make a call.
discussing. We've got the charades going on. But
Let's read the body language.
Yes. The clock is ticking, though. And so we've got 6 minutes left until the end of the game.
Yeah, Beardsell here seems to have had a very good conversation with Dodd, being able to explain his point of view, and
there was no call that had been made.
Seems like there was no call.
No. Well, we didn't see one, so we never know. We're not
little bit of
on the
confusion.
field.
All right, 2-point difference.
So Cleat Jail should be starting,
Bad Temperament.
should be starting with the disc.
Yes. In a box formation that we see here. A flick force. Initiation on the open side, up the line.
Workman with the disc in the back. Not liking any of the options, going to put a small little side throw to number 8, Hull, who's on the side of the field. Was that Dodd? That was Dodd.
Yeah.
Dodd on the side of the field.
Back on the field. It feels like there's an O-line for Bad Temperament. They have Workman, they have Dodd, that's returning players on O.
Right, with Beatty and with Penny. Yes. So playing well together. That's Beatty in the center. Looking for Penny, but no, the cut was not successful. Workman getting open.
There's something to be said about having an O-line and a D-line in 4-on-4.
And so that was caught by Beatty, but the question is, was it inside?
We're seeing Bad Regiment calling it in here. We're waiting to see if anybody else has better perspective.
And so the players are discussing, not in. So it is going to be Beatty with the disc on their end zone line. And that's always a bit of a difficult corner, right? That's the coffin corner.
Exactly. Sometimes when you try and push things in, that's where you're going to be prone to errors. But you did a good job of putting it out to space here. Back to Workman.
And Dodd's got it in the center, trying to make that right decision to keep the possession.
Call on Dodd here.
Beautiful throw. But there is a call.
Travel call.
So travel is called when someone feels that the pivot was not maintained throughout the possession of the thrower. So the thrower has to maintain the one pivot point. And if that pivot point moves, then that's a travel. All right, Workman back with the disc. Penny in the back. Throws it up to Dodd. Just a little bit too far.
Dodd doing a great job here of getting open in the lane. I'm very impressed with her level of maturity on the field. She's really getting involved, playing very well.
Beardsell putting it up to Medwick. Medwick looking for that outside in. Yes, it is completed.
That was a nice throw. Defender was right there. Once again, Dodd very tight on coverage. Even if that break throw came across, she was very tight on her player.
And Fauché was there on the right side of the field. And so the gap is closing. We've got 18.
That's a break.
For Cleat Jail and 19 for Bad Temperament. So
Cleat
yes,
Jail is going to make this interesting right up until the end, eh?
it is interesting right up until the end. So it's still anybody's game. About 3 minutes left of play. So let's see how this goes. Bad Temperament.
We have some switches here, but we have Workman still on the field for that O-line.
Cuts are coming in. Very nice cut by number 55. Fitkowski. Clean cut. Yes, Fitkowski with the disc in the back.
Doing a good job of circulating the disc around the field.
Costigan to Workman. Perrin with the disc. The side of the field is trying to help out by yelling what not to do, what to do. Workman with the disc in. Perrin trying to cut long. Perrin on the break side with the hammer. Is it in or is it on the line? Yes, the opposing team says it is in. So Bad Temperament makes that very important catch. So 20-18.
Twinkle toes. We got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left.
This is a crucial point for Cleat Jail. So you can imagine 2 minutes left. We're down by 2. If they score this, if they're able to score this efficiently and quickly, it's anybody's game at this point.
Cleat Jail. Medwick with the long throw. Is it caught? That could have made.
That was where it's at. I think that we're under a minute now, but yeah, That was a crucial one.
And under a minute. But you know, I mean, it never comes down to the one play. Of course, it's a summation of everything that's happened in the game. And so you can never say that it was, you know, the one move. Every single move counts through the entire game.
And at this point, Bad Temperament, if they're able to keep possession and just last that 1 minute, that clinches the game.
That clinches the game. So, number one, Dora Moody with choices to make, but not many options. So puts it long. With a fantastic layout attempt, which takes down the sign. And Medwick.
A little bit against what I was saying about holding possession.
I don't think he had many options. And here we hear the whistle. So great game by Bad Temperament, who wins the game 20-18 against Cleat Jail. That was fun.
Such a good effort on both ends. Honestly, they kept this game going all the way to the end. A lot of great athleticism shown here from Cleat Jail. We can see that there's a great program going on in Manitoba, a great mixed program. They play well together, and so a lot of respect out of Manitoba.
Yes, and congratulations to Newfoundland St. John's for winning this match. So from the Canadian 4-on-4 Ultimate Championships 2025 in Ontario, Ottawa, Ontario, I'm Chantal Dussault.
And I'm Kimberly Morin-Coulombe.
Catch us later for more of these beautiful matches.
Thank you.
I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
Find your drive.
Find your drive.
Find your drive.
Find your drive.